Alright, welcome back. We got some stuff in the Stark Tower to do real quick. And, well, it won't be real quick. It'll probably, honestly, just be this episode. We'll grab Iron Man because we need him.
Onward to victory.
Probably won't be on the team once. Words. Probably won't be on the team once we actually start the level. I don't think I've talked to anyone out front first, so. Yeah, we have a lot of people to talk to. I don't think I'm gonna talk to Fury.
Welcome and good day to you. I am Edwin Jarvis, personal butler to Mr. Anthony Stark. This area is where Mr. Stark carries out the research and development of his Iron Man suit. As you can imagine, the body armor has become so complex that a staff of technicians is required. You may walk around and inspect the facilities. I believe you'll already find several of your compatriots here.
Who are you and how do you get in here?
Yeah, the name's Jack Hammer, but you can call me Weasel. Everyone does. Yeah, and don't worry, I came in through the back. No one saw me.
What you want?
Wyatt Wingfoot gave me a damaged laptop. Said you heroes wanted to know what data was on it.
Did you find anything out?
Yeah, that laptop holds security information for a building called the Imperium.
What's the Imperium?
I can find out, but you'll have to get me the password into S.H.I.E.L.D.'s priority files. Oh, there's 3 possibilities. Jacob Fury, Baron Strucker, or Gabriel Jones. Talk to Vision. He'll be able to help.
It's also another reason why I wanted to wait.
Ah, splendid. You located the missing cufflink. It was a gift from Miss Virginia Potts when she had been Mr. Stark's secretary. It was my pleasure.
All those are literally everything just went over. Well, that gives a skill point. Return to current mission.
Yes.
We'll give that to Thor.
Will do.
We'll talk. Oh, and then there's also the Black Panther figurine right there. Don't want to miss that. Come back out. We'll swap. We will talk with everyone out here, and then we'll go back and talk with everyone in there, and then, yeah. These episodes might be a little bit shorter, but... Alright, I want to swap. I'll just put Deadpool back on the team. I mean, next time we go to the Stark Tower, we'll probably won't worry as much about it.
Somebody take a picture.
In terms of, because there's not really much to talk about, because the majority of the characters don't really have different dialogue, I don't think. Okay, so let's talk to Vision.
Welcome, my friend. Do you require information?
Oh no, everyone does. Okay.
Namor is the first known hybrid of Homo sapiens and Homo mermanus, humans and merpeople. He can breathe water and air, but if he's away from water too long, he will begin to weaken.
How does he feel about humans?
As with most merpeople, he has an inborn distrust of surface dwellers, and true to his belligerent nature, Namor can take his distrust to the extreme. The Atlanteans are distant cousins to your race. Having evolved on the ocean floor, it is impossible for them to breathe air.
In what other ways do humans and merpeople differ?
Because they live in the extreme conditions of the ocean, merpeople are very hardy. They are stronger than humans, can swim up to 30 miles per hour, and lived to be over 150 years of age.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty long.
I know it's a name Colonel Fury would just as soon forget. Jacob Fury was so jealous of his older brother's success that he turned to a life of crime.
There's a surprise.
Yes, and to make matters worse, the Colonel was forced to kill Jacob. So you can see why Colonel Fury does not care to dwell on that name.
What do you know about Nick Fury's brother,
I would
Jacob?
suggest you talk to the Black Widow about that name. I am
That's
glad to be of assistance.
not what that was supposed to be.
Ah, my cybernetic helmet. Thanks. I owe you one.
No, I guess everyone does have new
The mutant
words.
amplifier vastly augments any mutant's natural power. So a psychic that can lift a book will become powerful enough to lift a bus.
That's incredible.
Yes, but it has some serious side effects. The amplifier causes damage to the DNA of any mutant it's used on. Not much. The serum's only worked on Captain America. There's something very peculiar about his physique. That, plus the doctor who originally developed it, is dead.
What if Jim uses it in its present
You
form?
wind up with a bunch of muscle-bound beasts, just like you saw in the Omega. They're psychotic, violent, unable to take orders. Not exactly what you'd want from an army. Ah, there's no problem at all.
Fantastic. We'll go talk to Widow next. And we'll talk to Barry.
We just received a message from Namorita, the cousin of Namor. Apparently, there is a riot going on in Atlantis. Unknown,
Cause
but for some reason, the Atlanteans have forcibly removed Namor from his throne.
thing was Atlanteans love Namor.
Yes, which means something is seriously wrong. See Wyatt when you are ready to go to S.H.I.E.L.D.'s outpost in Atlantis.
I think this first one is literally what she just talked about, so I'm not going to bother with that. And the other one we've already done.
I would not say that name too loud. He is a leader of Hydra and a longtime nemesis of Colonel Fury.
You know,
You
Gabriel
should
Jones.
ask Colonel Fury about Mr. Jones.
Will do.
Well done on the Omega mission. Will you have the same success in Atlantis?
We'll do our best, Colonel Fury.
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s directive is to keep the world peace. To do that, we have to monitor the activities of every major civilization.
What would the Indians do if they discovered the
I'm sure
outpost?
they wouldn't be too happy, and that's why they aren't going to find out about it. We realize now that Doom had no intention of commandeering the helicarrier. They attacked to draw additional security forces there.
And I would leave the Omega base vulnerable.
Correct. The Omega and the experiments it held was their prime objective all along.
How's
Dugan's
the
still
Omega
trying
base?
to sort things out, but apparently the base sustained only minor damage.
They locate the rest of the base personnel.
Yes, they'd been locked in a cold storage unit on level 3. Aside from some minor cases of frostbite, everyone was fine.
Did you know someone named Gabriel Jones?
Heck yes, he's a great guy. Back in the day, he was one of my Howling Commandos.
Was he a good soldier?
He still is. Gabe's one of my top advisors. He saved me from making serious mistakes more times than I care to remember. You're
Thanks. Cool. And we'll go to the lab. Forget that everyone has their own dialogue and stuff. In between every mission. I don't need you. I think literally every time you
Hey, how's it going?
talk with Weasel,
Thanks. When you get back from Atlantis, I'll have all the information you need.
yeah, you really don't need
Sure. Anytime.
talk to him about anything except, and you don't need to talk about Jarvis about anything. So we'll go through everyone
Tony
here.
Stark got it made or what? He's rich, he's a genius, and to top it all off, he's got the perfect mustache.
Some
Gee,
little
I
tense.
can't see why. Dr. Doom's in control of an army of supervillains, and the Black Widow is working for him.
It's not that bad.
Are you off your meds? The only thing that would make this worse is if the Earth were destroyed to make way for an intergalactic highway.
You really think the Black Widow is a traitor?
Of course she is. Hey, I've been at the superhero game long enough to know that the hot chicks always turn evil. Probably because evil pays better.
Why don't you tell Colonel Fury about her?
If one of Nick's little SHIELD agents is turned to the dark side, then Nicky'll have to figure it out for himself.
It's your responsibility to tell Colonel Fury about the Black
No, it
Widow.
isn't.
Yes, it is. You have great power, and with great power, there must also come.
If you finish that sentence, I'm gonna put so much web in your hair, you'll have to shave your head. Sure.
Thanks, Spidey.
Sure.
I must admit, I find news of a SHIELD outpost near Atlantis very intriguing.
It's interesting about the SHIELD outpost.
Now I know the extent SHIELD is willing to go to gather information on countries with closed borders.
Doesn't your country Wakanda have closed borders?
Indeed it does. And now I wonder if perhaps SHIELD doesn't have an outpost hidden there.
Why does Wakanda have closed
We
borders?
have the largest deposit of vibranium in the world. To open our borders would be an invitation to those who would conquer us.
People have invaded Wakanda?
Over the centuries, fools have tried. But the Black Panther is always there to stop them.
Are you concerned about Dr. Doom?
Indeed I am. Victor Von Doom has created a sizable army of supervillains.
What do you think he's up
I
to?
don't know, but Doom must have a truly grand scheme to risk attacks on the helicarrier and the Omega base.
You
Thanks.
are quite welcome. I know seeing the Super Soldier project has raised some concerns about S.H.I.E.L.D., but let's get all the facts before we cause any trouble.
Having fun there, Weasel? Do you think SHIELD is a reputable organization?
I think S.H.I.E.L.D. has a lot to deal with, and sometimes it makes mistakes. But historically, it's done a great job of keeping the peace.
Didn't you see they were turning volunteers into monsters on the Omega base?
I saw they were testing out a new version of the Super Soldier Serum, the same type of drug that gave me my strength and agility.
Took Super Soldier
Yes.
Serum.
During World War II, I volunteered for Operation Rebirth. It was a program for creating physically superior soldiers.
What
I
happened?
exceeded their expectations. Unfortunately, Dr. Erskine, the man who developed the drugs, was killed, and no one's been able to recreate his work.
Do you think the Black Widow is up to something?
I have to admit, things sound kind of suspicious. Like, why was she carrying that laptop during the attack on the helicarrier?
So you think she's a spy?
No. I'd need a lot more evidence before I'd say something like that about the Black Widow.
Thanks.
Stark Tower's a beauty, isn't she? I consider her one of my greatest achievements.
Thanks for letting us use Stark Tower as a headquarter.
No problem. Our little task force needed a base, so it seemed like the thing to do.
The tower must have cost a fortune to
I
build.
wasn't worried about the cost. That is, until S.H.I.E.L.D. and I had our little disagreement.
You've had trouble with SHIELD?
More like they had trouble with me. I wanted out of the weapons business. I can't tell you how many breach of contract suits they filed.
They
That
sued
was
you?
just the beginning. Suddenly I had trouble getting building permits, filing patents. Don't get me started on how my taxes changed.
Why did you want out of weapons
I'm
development?
not sure exactly. One morning I realized I needed to do more than just amass wealth. I wanted to help people, and weapons aren't that helpful.
But weapons development was earning you
You really
billions.
don't need that many billions to get by. No, my life's taking a new course. I want to be remembered for helping lives, not destroying them.
Thanks,
Anytime,
Iron Man.
my friend. Anytime at all.
The Black Widow is up to something, I just know it. Did you see how nervous she was on the helicarrier?
Is Black Widow working for Dr.
Sure
Doom?
looks like it. She must have been trying to get that laptop to the enemy during the helicarrier battle.
So you think then we want some information on the Imperium?
Yes. That laptop shows all security systems for the building. And from the looks of those systems, the Imperium must hold something valuable.
Should we tell Colonel Fury about the Black Widow?
Not yet. She's his second in command. We're going to need some pretty strong evidence to shake Fury's faith in her.
You really think you need more evidence?
Yes. Colonel Fury's trust doesn't come easily, and once given, it's nearly impossible to break.
Could emotions be clouding your judgment towards the Black Widow?
Okay, so Daredevil and I were close several years back. And the Black Widow and Daredevil were close not so long ago.
So maybe you're jealous of her?
No, I'm not. I'm long over Daredevil. If he can find happiness with the Black Widow, I wish them both the best. You're welcome.
Thanks, Electro.
I've heard people complaining about S.H.I.E.L.D. since we got back from the Omega. I'm telling you, it's gotta stop.
Do you trust
I
Shield?
trust Nick Fury. He's pulled my fat out of the fire more times than I can remember.
But what about the experiments on the Omega?
Look, Fury does what he has to keep the world safe. He ain't always got the luxury of playing by the rules.
Do you trust the Black
I've
Widow?
known her for a while. She's always been good in a fight. And Fury trusts her.
What about the information Weasel found on her laptop?
Unless that meathead Weasel comes up with better evidence, I ain't believing nothing against the Black Widow.
Pretty loyal to Fury.
He's been loyal to me. After all the trouble I had with the Hand recently, I owe Fury my life a dozen times over.
What happened with the Hand?
Let's just say that evil bunch of psychos got hold of me and turned me into their assassin. It caused a lot of people a lot of pain. But Fury helped me out, kept me alive. And I'll never forget that.
Thanks.
Sure.
Let's see if there's anything else over here. But otherwise, this video actually lasted a lot longer than I expected it to. A lot of just dialogue and stuff like that that maybe isn't important, but you know, I want to show off as much as I can while we're here. Yeah. Wasn't really much talking, but I mean, I don't think the characters in that room actually get different dialogue after this mission. So next time we'll talk to White Wingfoot. We'll head to Atlantis. So until then, bye bye.